Awesome, and we are live. So this is gonna be the second part in the series. I started doing this last week. The idea is that there were a lot of these automations that I wanted to build to simplify my life and work, and I talked to people and figured out that a lot of people also want to do the same thing. So on Sundays, you can join on these calls, and I would be building out one automation to simplify my life on each of these live stream, and you can follow along and build the same thing, or you can get inspired by that idea and build something similar, but for your own use case, or you can build something entirely new. That all depends on you. Uh, but yeah, this is just a space to explore ideas, to build out cool stuff with AI. So, yes. So yeah, these starting seconds are mostly just talking to myself. As people are still joining in, I see that one of you have joined in. That's cool. Hello. And with that, let's start with this. So, what I wanted to build out today is already in the title of the stream. So, basically, I wanted to build out some automation that would take me from YouTube to LinkedIn, like whatever I put out on YouTube. So, I've been decently consistent on YouTube, but LinkedIn is something that I have not touched for a while. Like, a short backstory over there. Like, I had a LinkedIn account that I was using from the last 5-6 years. One fine day, someone hacked that account, and it was completely my fault. Like, I did not change the password for a long time. Plus, I also did not have two-factor authentication on that account. That's why it got hacked. I have to create a new one, and it's actually very quiet. Like, so I posted over there a couple of times, but posting to LinkedIn regularly have sort of became a bottleneck for me. And the best way to do it seems to be automating the entire process. And this is something that similar like what we do at Impulse Lab. Like personally, I have built out similar automations for multiple companies, not exactly YouTube to LinkedIn, but similar content workflows. And now AI is that good that it's almost as good as most content. Like if I go on LinkedIn and if I show you some of the stuff that these creators make, like a lot of that, this is clearly AI, and it has got decent engagement over here. Like I'm not denying the fact that the profile itself would be engaging for a long amount of time, but I'm just saying that on LinkedIn people still engage with this AI created content. This is like definitely created from, oh yeah, the logo is already there. This is created from Gemini Nano Banana Pro. Now if I look at some other posts, like you will realize that a lot of the stuff that is now over here, like definitely this banner, actually I think AI would do a better job if it was created through AI. And yeah, so like if I go to this creator's profile, you might know him, so Nick Sarav. If I go on his profile, there are a lot of these templates that he keep using, which is most probably generated by AI. Like, I'm not sure if he's using AI for these, but this is sort of working well for the brand, and these looks fairly consistent. Like each of these are something that I think are generated out of Claude code, or like some image model, but I'm not sure about it. Over here, like he directly put down the thumbnail of his YouTube video and then wrote a post about it, and it did fairly well. So I think automating your entire LinkedIn basis your YouTube can sort of work out well. So on his profile, although there is a good variation, like there are different versions of the same carousel, he also posts these videos where you show a big graphic or big document like in a small amount of time, so that people want that and they comment. So he has a good variation, but for this video I would want to focus on creating one kind of content, which is like carousels that look like this, but this needs to be really really good and needs to be in a consistent fashion, and that is what I am gonna do in this stream. So if I go back on my YouTube channel, like I upload videos 3 to 4 times a month. So if I come back here, I see like I've uploaded these videos, and if I could turn all of these into posts that I could put down on LinkedIn, that would just amplify the same stuff, and that's what I want to do in this video. Now let's go back to that. So how I think of this entire process is that this would look something like this. Like I will put in a YouTube video, probably a link. Like I can also automate it, but I think that would be an overkill. So I put in a YouTube video link. Like as soon as I create a video, I can probably drop a link the next day. It extracts all the frames and audio from that video so that it understands what it is exactly about, and then it generates a post out of it. Now this is where the entire heavy lifting happens. Like this part is also fairly difficult, but it's straightforward. Like there isn't much that needs to be optimized here. But when we go to the step of generating a post, over here having a style guide, like how exactly I want my post to be, references that I have to put in. So for both of these I will strictly stick to what Nick Savarin has created here. Like Nick Sarayev. I'm not sure if I'm pronouncing it right, but I hope that's it. So for that I will mostly keep a similar structure here. I don't want to play around with that. Like in the first iteration, my goal is to replicate it really nicely and then sort of iterating over it to make something that is unique to my own style. And at this step, like all the images and carousel will be generated. Like if it's gonna be a post which uses the thumbnail of the video directly, so in some cases, for example, I think in this case, like the direct thumbnail could also work out. You don't need to create a separate carousel. Like I can also post this on LinkedIn, the thumbnail, and along with sort of the exact juice that is in there in the video, like the major points that I'm making in there. So that could be a good post in itself. So yeah, like all that decision making, all that images, like all of this happens here. And I think I would want a step, like approval step, and then scheduling it on LinkedIn. So this entire workflow over here, let me add another step. And by the way, like if you would want all of this, like there is a live document that is in the description of this video, so you can get it from there. This is the document, and like we will keep updating as we are figuring out our tech stack, what exactly we are building, and all those details. So I will just edit this. I will mention approve plus schedule to LinkedIn. Yeah, cool. So that's the entire flow. Now so when I create these, I like to think step from step. So from the left, like when we have the YouTube video and extracting frames and audio out of it, this is actually pretty straightforward. I actually came across a YouTube skill that does exactly this. So you would be using that for it. Meanwhile, yeah, everything seems to be working fine. So we are gonna use that skill here for doing it. It uses something called FFmpeg library for basically splitting down the entire video into frames. And the second thing would be that we would be using either native captions, or instead we would be passing the entire video through Whisper, which is basically audio to text model of OpenAI. So, or text or STT model of OpenAI, which is Whisper. It's cool. Now moving on to the next step, like out of these frames and audio, generating a post. So at this point, I think like for the first go, something like Claude Code could work out here. Like since we would be using that as a native builder, so I will just put in Claude Code here, and for adding images, we would want to use the OpenAI's model. It does a really good job here. So I will just mention OpenAI image 2.0 model. So that's useful for creating the images. And initially, so how the workflow sort of here would look like. Let's dive deeper into it. So wait, let me remove this. So yes, I never liked using Xkelly Draw a lot. Like it never made sense to me. Like using a tool that shows hand-drawn fonts and writing. Like I never get the sense of it. Like using computer, the point of using computer was that you can use like good-looking fonts and like everything there. Like to move away from handwritten stuff. But eventually we ended up here. But like as I have even started using it, like I really like the feel of these hand-drawn fonts. It feels like that I'm actually scribbling on a paper. So with that, I will sort of like the point is I'm trying to create something that shows that when we zoom into this step, what happens on the background. So first. Like there is this agent which ingests the entire transcript and the frames. Now basis that, it makes a plan on what all needs to be done. Now at this point it would have access to multiple tools that it can use. Like it can generate an image, so generate a image. Like we would want to focus on generating carousels in this, so we will keep it generate a carousel. And before generating a carousel, although I think that it also needs to have a certain idea of what goes on each of these slides. So before creating these images, like it ingests the entire transcript, it makes a plan of what needs to be there on the carousel. So text and other details that goes on the carousel, and then it generates a carousel. I'm not sure if it can directly like create a PDF out of these images. So for now, let's keep it. It like generate a it creates a series of images. So images for the carousel generated. Cool. In the next part, let me quickly check like if the stream is also coming up fine for everyone. Last time like something happened because of which only the editor video was showing up. So I just want to make sure something like that is not happening this time. Okay, this is working nice. So let's come back to that. So yeah, where were we? We were on the Xkelly Draw screen. Let's open. Yeah. So all the text, like first we took all the text and the frames that are in the video, then made a plan on what needs to go inside carousel, then images for the carousels are generated, and then actual carousel is generated from the images patched together. For the carousel. So that's there. So now we have the entire image that needs to go with it. Along with that, there also needs to be a caption. So for that caption, like that would be comparatively straightforward, because this would be a caption that just goes along with the post. The caption that goes along with the post. So in this case, like it's gonna be pretty simple, but apart from that, at this point, it should also append the design references. So let me turn the head of the arrow in the other direction, and this would be the design references, design and text references. Yes, and that builds our entire pipeline, like how we want to build out this agent. Now, like when I'm thinking of building an agent, the easiest and the fastest way for me to do is I could either create a skill for it, which is actually a pretty cool thing to do. So let's start there. Like let's chat with Claude Code and see if we can build out a skill for this. Oh, hey, thanks Anu. So yeah, I will also make like a smaller video around this tomorrow, so you can also check that out. Today it's just today's sort of like an exploration session where I'm just talking about it as I'm doing it. So let's start with this. I will create a new folder for this in which like we can keep all of this together. Let's keep it YouTube to LinkedIn. And after that, let's just start with this, like everything that we have created so far. Let's use all of that as the starting point here. So let's come back here and I will copy this. And let's drop it here along with the second image. Yeah. So we want to build out a workflow where we first, when I drop a YouTube video, the transcript and the frames are extracted at the same time. So let me quickly do it. Let's use Whisper Flow for this. Yeah, we want to build out a workflow where whenever I input a YouTube video, which is from my own channel, the workflow should be able to extract the frames and the transcript of that video. We are already doing this with the watch skill that is tagged below. Apart from that, once we have that, then I want the agent to start a next step where it first comes up with the content that needs to go within the slides that are created out of it. So these slides are basically LinkedIn carousels, and there is also a style guide within this skill, like that would be creating later. For now, let's keep it a placeholder, and there would also be design references for this carousel. Again, use a placeholder for that. So in that next step, like it should create a specific plan for what needs to go within each of these specific slides of the carousel. and then that skill should call a endpoint which would be GPT image 2.0 model. So using the OpenAI API key, and then it should create each of these frames individually based on the design references that we have shared. Like again, keep it a placeholder. We would be creating a folder within where we have all these design differences. And finally, like once all of these images are received, then that workflow turns that into a PDF, and then finally we post all of this on our LinkedIn account using the buffer API. So we would be using the buffer API for putting the entire carousel along with the uh, caption for the post that is generated. So that's the entire workflow. Now, ideally, we would want to do it with one Claude skill, but before going into that, let's figure out how we can do it and if it's possible with one single Claude skill or not, or do we need to like set up a workflow for this? So my best guess is that we won't be able to do with a single Claude skill, but I think like if we use some combination of using a Claude skill along with a routine setup, then I think this should work out. Like we might need to connect some of these connectors, but let's see. Like right now, let's keep it in the plan mode and ask it to create a plan for us. So for now, we'll drop it. Along with that, for posting on LinkedIn directly, like we would be using this tool called Buffer. I think most of you will know about it. So Buffer used to be a tool that can be used for scheduling posts on multiple platforms, but now, very recently, they also came up with their own API. So now you can just call this API and the agent can make the post directly. So that saves a lot of effort in going out there and going out there and like putting all the things that your agent do in a scheduling tool. So it can do all of it automatically. So we are going to use this in the last step of our process, which is approving and scheduling on LinkedIn. So that's there. Now we might have to click on allow for a couple of times, and let's wait for it to come up with the rest of the plan. Oh, sorry. I think my own video was pretty large. Yes, thanks, Anu. Also, I have not tried Muesli. See what Muesli is. Muesli sketch. Okay, so it's an AI note-taking tool which... No, I don't think so. This might be it. Okay, this could be it. Create anything you can imagine. Usually pairs the power of AI with intuitive, tailored tools for everyday tasks, generate text, images, music. Oh wow, this seems pretty cool. I guess this is the tool that Hanu was talking about. So let's check if we have other Muesli out there as well. Okay, I think it is this Muesli itself, muesli.ai. So, wow, so sort of like ChatGPT, but you can also compose a song and you can also edit a photo and all this stuff. So let's come back to let's try this out. Like meanwhile, Claude Code is working on the plan. So AI content director, or let's try out something that is relevant to what we are trying to do here. So yeah, let's try AI content director. So what it does is it analyzes a text, instantly verify if text is AI generated using an advanced detection model. Okay, so this is content detector. I thought this was a content director. So yeah, so let's try something around creating social media post. I think most of these marketplaces get attention because they start publicizing that they have thousands or even more than that automations. But when you use any of these directly, you just realize they are not as good. So YouTube to text, I think this should be a straightforward automation that should work out fine. But I think apart from that, if you go for some complex automations like anything around social media, most of these automations does not do that good of a job. So let's try something out. Social media image text editor, add voice to slides, social media image translator, translate social media image. Why are people translating social media images? So there is a lot about translation. Let's start with social media image text editor. Meanwhile, let's check this. Okay, this is still working. This is actually going through all of the documentation of the APIs that we want to use. So this is nice. It would have an actual idea and evaluate if we can just use a Claude skill for it. My best guess is we can use APIs within these Claude skills. Worst case, we might have to create like a script for this, which I think would be much better than creating a skill, because a skill gives you inconsistent output because every time AI understands it differently, but a script gives you a consistent output every time. So, but yeah, let's see if it can create like a single Claude skill, or if we would have to create a script for this. So how should this run? With you in the loop or fully unattended? I would want it to run through a loop initially, because like all these automations at the start, the output is not what you would want. Like at one point where the output is something that is exactly like what I've been getting, then I would want to do it. So buffer API won't take file uploads, need a public media URL, and it's LinkedIn PDF carousel support via API is unconfirmed. How do you want to handle posting? Buffer API plus verify first. Yeah, if it can do it, then nothing like it. Where you should, uh, where should the skill and its placeholder references live, and how do you invoke it? So in the so let's keep it as a global skill, and for invoking it, like I'll just use the hashtag, sorry, the slash command. So let's see. Also, I think it was able to find the skill that I was talking about, but let's see. Not really. So let's mention here, please to analyze the watch skill and use the learnings. Cool. So once all the recommendations are complete, I will just pause this here and send this message. Yeah. Cool, let's come back here. So it needs a social media PNG graphic that I want to edit. Okay, so it's sort of like a image editor. Pretty cool, I think. Like it does the basics, but not really something that you can use for automating socials at this point. Oh, I think. Oh, sorry, Musli was something else. Okay, Hanu. On the brighter side, I tried something new today, but Hanu was talking about. Let's. So on this, I cannot see all the chats. Wow, weird. So let's go back on YouTube and see if I can see the link here. Let's pause this. Okay, I think like you cannot share links on these on YouTube community chat, which makes sense. Okay, so Musely is a local meeting transcription and detection tool. Okay. Oh wow, this seems to be something that you can basically host on your system, and probably this works locally. Oh, this is great. I think like I would want to use this going ahead. Let's start this for now and let's come back to this later. Thanks, Anu. This was a pretty cool recommendation. Let's go back here and see that if our plan is done. Okay, so now we finally have a plan. Let's go through this. Yeah, a repeatable skill pipeline that turns a YouTube video from his own channel into a scheduled. Okay. Download core question answered. One skill is enough. Claude itself is the orchestrator. The reasoning steps, caption, per slide, planner, native LLM work, seeing the video is native. Deterministic step, image gen, PDF build, buffer post are bundled, Python scripts. Okay, so this is pretty cool. Like if it can create these individual scripts and then use it in the skill itself. Human approval gate fits in the interactive skill naturally. And external workflow engine would only be needed for fully unattended runs, which we will gradually move on to. So trigger is paste the URL, generate, preview, schedule. But verify first, probe accounts, okay. So we have all that, reuse, do not invent. Resolve it lives at. Okay, so this is pretty cool. It can use scripts that were generated for another Claude skill. Now the next step is pattern from watch. Okay, so I think this is some script that it needs to create, and then API client pattern. Okay, so within this skill it would be creating individual scripts. Like one of these scripts would be to load the API key itself that we are going to use for OpenAI. Then we have GPT image model being called at one of these scripts. Then another one is creating the PDF. Then another one for using buffer. Another one for style guide and slide images. And okay, so this looks pretty solid to me. Honestly, I think at this point we can sort of just start creating this. Keep it user made rate itself. Pillow is needed for build PDF. Okay. Placeholders. So this looks good. Let's get started with this. Before this, I will just change the model. I think Sonnet 4.6 is good enough for this task. And yeah, now let's execute this plan. And I will move to accept edits settings, because that just makes it much more easier to not like I have to press approve less number of times. But yeah, so now it is getting started with creating the entire skills that it need at multiple different places. Like sorry, it is a single skill but different scripts that it needs to create for this. So let it build that skill and then we will come back to this later. So for now, like we were able to build all of it using Claude Code, but in the next step we might have to provide it a couple of API keys, which is first like a buffer API key that we will use for automating the posting, and second is our OpenAI API key, that is for creating the images. And apart from that, we would also need references for our writing style. So let's get started on that. For this one, I want to specifically focus on sort of creating this one kind of post that I see on Nick's profile. So let me copy the link here. I will copy both the caption, and along with that I will also copy the carousel here. I think there are a lot of LinkedIn carousel downloaders on the internet that we can use for getting all of these carousels. So let's check this. I think all of these might, like, they natively allow the functionality to download this. Let's check. Okay, yes, so I can download this natively, so that would give me the PDF, and then let's check out the text. Yeah, let's get this. And let's go to ChatGPT and start dropping all of these together. We want to create a style guide based on the attached carousel style and post captions. Our final objective is to create a workflow where initially we we give it the content, like what is the overall point that needs to be communicated, and then the agent creates a carousel, like based on specific instructions that it is provided, that what needs to go on slide 1, slide 2, and all of that. So like one, we want to create a style guide for that. We want to keep it very similar to the attached PDF, and second, we also wanted to create captions that would go along with it. Again, the references for that are shared to you as well. The output that I want is basically a style guide for creating the carousel and instruction for creating, and the specific instructions for creating the caption of the post. So let me quickly check this. Sometimes what it does is it mispronounces a couple of words or miss out on some of the words, and that just changes the exact meaning of that phrase. Specifically, Whisperflow is much better with it. The tools that were present before this were a bit worse at it, so I usually do that. So once that is done, then I will paste the post caption 1. So we will add a couple of these here so that it has a good reference. I will also add a post caption 2, and let's grab another post from here that is created on the same style. So this is exactly the same, only the background color is different. So I will also copy this. Okay, so now we have both of them. Now I will also copy this PDF. I think to start with, 2 references would be good enough, but it usually start giving you good results when you have like 5-6 references through which it can start like creating patterns. Another thing I will add in there in the prompt is that I want it to have basically, okay, so once I've pasted this, yes. So next thing I want to add in my initial prompt is, I also want the prompts to have guidelines on how long the tagline of the carousel needs to be and how it needs to be formatted, because all those details are important as well. Include details on how long each heading and text needs to be in a title slide or a middle of the carousel slide, so that it knows like what exactly needs to go where, or on the end slide. Similarly, also have guidelines around the formatting of the entire slide, the formatting of each slide. And with that, a prompt is complete. Along with that, I will also add both the PDFs that we got just now. Okay, I think it's still downloading. Let's come back here and let's click on this again. Okay, oh wow, so you have to click on download once it is ready for downloading. Amazing. So now we have the first PDF. Let's go back and also get the last PDF. Okay, I have both the PDFs now. You might not be able to see that entire download notice because it was on the top right, but just LinkedIn being LinkedIn. So now we have both of these. I will just attach the files and yeah. And oh hey Hanu, thanks. Yes, I got it. Now yeah. So now the skills are already processing. Meanwhile, let's check back on ChatGPT. So now we have the entire style guide. So core philosophy: every carousel should communicate one idea only. 7 lessons about sales, 10 AI tools, everything I learned this year. Good. Why in a venue existence AI systems help for more 2 activities responsible for 75% of income. Okay, got the point. So yes, so it does include the core philosophy, then the carousel length. So it starts with a hook, then the second slide has the context. So let's also check the carousel side by side to see that if the pattern that it came with is actually true. So first is hook, second is context, and third is main point. So let's check it. First is hook, okay. Okay, so second is actually not the context, it just directly start into the entire process, but yeah, like, so it sometimes directly start with the main point. Let's check the other one if this is true here. Okay, so yes, so over here it starts with some context and then the actual sort of gist of the post starts. So that makes sense. Now let's move back to it. Then it mentions supporting evidence, deeper explanation, actionable takeaway, and CTA. Never exceed 8 slides. Okay. Now slide 1 needs to have hook. So create curiosity, large statement, 8 to 18 words, ideal specific numeric. Okay, this looks good to me. Then it also have instructions on rest of the slides. While presenting multiple concerns, pattern 1, pattern 2, pattern 3. Okay, makes sense. Takeaway slide. Convert insight into action, length 30 to 60 words. If you're struggling to do X, do Y. Makes sense. And then the final CTA slide. If you want the access to full breakdowns, most of my income comes from these 2 things. Okay, so in his case, the CTA, the final CTA is joining the maker school. In the post I make, I want it to be different. I want all of these to route to my agency, which is Impulse Labs, where we build marketing automations like these for companies, marketing and sales automation. So that is what I would want the CTA to be here. Now we have writing rules. Okay, all of this looks good. Nice. And from here, I'll just copy this entire thing and let's go back to Claude. So once Claude is done with creating the entire skill and all the scripts, then we will use this entire guide to populate the placeholder that we created earlier and like also the references. So another thing I will do is I will also break down the PDF into individual photos, because now we don't need to load these PDF every time as a references. So we can just use a couple of images from these slides as references, and that should work. So I will probably use a PDF to JPEG converter. There are a lot of free ones on the internet. You can use any of these. So I will select this. I will drop the entire PDF here, and let's convert to JPEG. Okay, so here are all the files. Let's convert another one. I think last time we converted this one. I think last time we generated the black version of it. Let's do it for the other version, and let's convert to JPEG. Yep, we have both. By the way, stuff like these can also like become really good free tool. Like if you run a SaaS or if you run an agency, like if you have a couple of these workflow setup, like where anyone who puts in a YouTube link, they get like a LinkedIn carousel out of it. That becomes a very good lead magnet. For example, like this website itself, I love PDF. They have these like multiple tools available, although they do it for free, but a lot of these other providers, you will look at Canva, it gives this free PDF to JPEG converter, and then it converts people into the paying user of their main tool. And Adobe also do the same thing. So like all these free tools also turn out to be a very good use case for that. So I think right now there might be a lot of free tools around this as well. YouTube to LinkedIn post converter. But the bad thing about it is that most of these will suck. Like I see that there are some YouTube videos around it, but there are also some converters. Okay, I think the bad thing about using these is that you cannot specify this or use this specifically for your use case. But again, like it's pretty cool. Like if you wanted to use it for a single use, these are cool tools to try. But yeah, I don't think like this one even works. Like they're showing their main product instead of the YouTube video to LinkedIn post converter. But let's just try this out. Let's try this with one of my own videos. I will copy the link and let's just paste this here. I think most probably it will ask me to sign up before providing this. So let's see, do you like buy the product to actually generate this? So it's pretty easy to stand out here. Like I think if you can just provide it actually for free and like only ask for emails once you have like generated a good carousel, then this becomes like a easy place to stand out. Okay, I have been trying to do this from a while. It has redirected me to the third screen now, and I still don't have the carousel. So it was mostly just a fake like page that they created that is probably working well for their own SEO, but it does not work. So yeah, like very low hanging fruit. Like probably I will do it if I have more time around next weekend. But the first link here itself is actually a dummy link, and like the volume over here, like there isn't much volume around it, but I think but yeah, I think like a lot of relevant business people would be searching for this. So with that, let's go back on Claude. Let's wait for it while it comes up with the entire plan. Like this is also the reason why I sometimes prefer Claude cursor over Claude Code. I think they have made this entire approval flow really complex. Like once you know what the plan is, then with the kind of AI models that we have right now, like you can trust it that it will be doing the right thing. Okay, I will. Okay, so there is no new chat here, which is good. Now let's come back here. So it is now creating the main skill.md file, which means like all of these individual files are created, which is nice. Now let's wait while it creates the main skill.md file, and then we can come back here and add the rest of the details within the entire skill, and then we'll give it a shot. Complete agent prompt template. Okay. So I'm just checking like if there is some part of this which is not actually the carousel style guide. Okay, the one on the top. Apart from that, let's copy the rest of this. Yeah, and then we will add this to a skill.md file, and then it should be complete. So it is verifying if the old structure is fine, and it's running a syntax check on all the scripts. So let's wait for it to do that, and then all we would have to do is we have to populate a style guide like using the style that we just created, and then we can start using this. So it also summed up the next steps. So add your keys to config youtube to linkedin.env file. Okay, so we will do that, and apart from that, let's just drop the slide template into this folder. So let's move to this folder. I will first come up to this folder, which is Claude Skills YouTube to LinkedIn references design. So let's come back here. So I will just quickly search YouTube to LinkedIn, and here's the folder. I think it's a separate folder that it has created for a skill as well that we need to look for. So this is Claude Skills YouTube to LinkedIn. Okay, it's a different folder. So I will first look for the Claude folder in my system. Okay, it's weird, I cannot find it. So let's see if we can open the file explorer from here. Okay, yes. So we have the folder open right here. Let's just close this and then come back here, and we can open this directly in the Finder. Okay, we can probably not. Meanwhile, let's figure out like what images we wanted to use for this. So we have to unzip a couple of folders that we did for getting all our design references together. So I will keep the first slide, one of the middle slides, and the last slide. Let's copy this. First, one of the middle slides and the last slide. I will copy this, and then let's go to our Claude folder. I will open this in Finder. Okay, let's try something else. Wow, I did not expect that this would turn out to be the most time-taking step of all. For now, I will just attach the images here directly, and I guess Claude can figure out to do the rest of the stuff. So I will just select the images, and I will attach them here. Similarly, I will add the rest of the images. Okay, so we have all the images here. use the attached images as the design references for the brand slide, and apart from that I will paste the rest of this style guide that we generated. I will add this here. Use the following for creating the style guide and voice templates. And let's just drop this entire thing and quickly check that if it has all the things that we want, and then we will send this. Meanwhile, let's get started with getting our open. So let's start with getting all our API keys. We already have the OpenAI API key because I was using it for a couple of more skills. The only skill that we need right now is the buffer access token. So I will quickly get this. So for that, I will go to my buffer, I will log in. You would need an account for this, and you don't need a paid account for trying this out. I think they give you like 3 posts for free along with this, but even beyond that, it's pretty affordable. I think it's just $6-7 for every paid account. So for now, I will go to the settings panel and I will go to API. I will create a new API key. For this part, I will quickly just remove my stream, my image, basically my desktop stream from here, so that I do not, so I don't end up leaking my API keys on the internet. So let me quickly do that. Okay. Yeah. Okay. Good. I think now my image covers the entire screen, so you cannot see the rest of it. Now let's come back here. I will create my personal API key. And I will just drop this access token here. Okay, I think some part of my screen is still visible. I'll just move myself here. Yeah. And along with my API key, let me also add the buffer LinkedIn channel ID. So let's get that from here. I'm not sure actually how to get the channel ID. Let me just quickly check check with Claude Code here. And it is directly using my buffer API key for finding the channel ID. So that's cool. The API key is still on the screen, so I've kept it hidden. And once it's there, then I will just move myself. Oh, hey Prashant, this is pretty cool. Thanks a lot for joining in. This is something new that has been under the wraps. And yeah, meanwhile, if you want to catch up on everything we have done so far, it's that we created an AI agent which can create basically social media posts for us. And I know that the code screen was removed for a while because I was adding my API keys, but now I'm done doing that, so it should be visible now. So we are actually using Claude Code for it. So we need to get our API access token from here, and then we need to get, okay, so let's quickly check that. I think we got the wrong API keys here. I will just quickly get the right ones. I think we have the right one. Let's copy the entire, so can you try using the snippet? The code should work. So at this point, like, we have built out the entire thing. All we are doing is we are just all we are doing now is we are just testing the code, sort of doing the last debugging steps, and then we'll try out if the entire workflow works. So yeah, like, I think org ID was something that was not there earlier. So at this point, you would need to get your org ID from here, and along with your API key, it should work. So let's see if it is able to figure out like what are channel IDs from using all these. So it is using some wrapper. Let's wait for a while it's working on all of these scripts. And yes, so it is able to figure that out, and yes, it has got my profile, which is Nimish Gehlot from LinkedIn. So the connection is working. It already has our OpenAI API key. So let's check with that. I think you have the OpenAI key in the system. Yeah. So, by the way, like, when you are creating all of this, do make sure that you add your API keys in the .env folder. Like, even right now, you will see that I've shared my org ID, and it has like my channel ID, but it cannot work with all of it unless like it has my buffer API key. So always make sure that you have it in the right place rather than dropping it in the chat directly. Yeah, so that's there. Now we are fully set up, but I don't think so we will be able to see our skill yet, because we need to because most of the times you have to turn off Claude Code and start it again. Should I turn off Claude Code and start again? So I'm just making sure that it has saved all the files that are already there. Yes. So cool. I will just turn this off, and let's just start this again. Meanwhile, I will get the links of one of the videos for which I want to try this out. And yes, let's try the slash command. It's still loading all the skills. It should take a couple of minutes. And yes, we have the skill YouTube to LinkedIn. This is on top. I will also attach the YouTube video for which I wanted to do it, and I will send it. Cool. This is the final test. I don't expect it to crack this on the first go itself, but it does it. If it does it, then nothing like it. So it is now running all of these individual skills. Sorry, it is running now all of these individual scripts within the skill. So first it is running this ingest video skill, through which it will be able to like get all the frames of the video and the entire transcript, and then it will move on to the next step, which is creating the actual carousel. I'm using this with Opus 4.8 for the first run because I expect that the output would be better with it. but I expect Sonnet to also do a good job at this, because at the end of the day, this is sort of like a creative pursuit rather than a technical problem to solve. So yeah, let's wait while it does all the steps. So right now it is ingesting the video. Then we also have, so if we check the architecture of the entire skin, so we also have the next script within this. So first one is like pre-flight, which tests if the system is up. Then it loads the API keys, then it watches the entire video. Then the next step would be that it will start creating these individual images that go into the carousel. So let's see if it has moved to that step. Okay, so it got all the frames. It also got the title and the metadata. Now it is extracting the transcript of the video. And you can see like it actually extracted the individual frames of this video. You can watch, like you can see exactly the frames that it has extracted and all of that. You can play around with this. Like right now I've kept it, I think, at the distance of 30 seconds or 1 minute, but you can even make this smaller. But with that, the first step is done. So that's nice. Like it was able to create, like it was able to extract all the details of the YouTube video. Now the next step is it will start creating the assets that we want. So let's see how that part works out. Also, like once it has created the carousel and the caption, then it will come back to us for the approval, and only after the approval it will schedule this on buffer. So okay, it wants a permission to run a directory. Let's provide it. I have everything. Now it is creating the slide. Here's the plan. I render any images before. Okay, so it is asking for approval. The caption is everything is racing to build AI agents, almost no one needs one. Tropic, okay, seems good. I would want it to be much more human, like talking from personal experience, but this is fine. Then it has created the content for the 8 slide carousel. Stop building AI agents, Anthropic says do this instead. The problem with agents, skills are entities, okay. So this is nice. Then approve the slides, okay. I will approve it, but at this point I can also edit this, which is good to know. Which would be the thing that I would be doing in most of these cases, because honestly I think like this content is everywhere, AI generated content, and if you can stand out like by adding some personal touch, adding your personal story, that is what makes it unique. And yes, with that, so it wants the API key. I think it is not able to access it. Wait. So I will quickly remove myself from the video. Wait, I think this is running somewhere else. Yes. So I will quickly remove myself from the video, and then like I will quickly remove the screen from the video, and then paste my OpenAI API key and then come back here. So I will just remove this for a while, and I think there needs to be like a better way of doing it, but you know, if any of you have seen any other streamers working with something better, do let me know. But I think this is the option that I am going with right now. I think going ahead, probably I will also have some banner that at this point I am copying my API key or something like that, so that if anyone joins it at that point, it might not seem weird, like if like a tech stream without a screen being displayed is as bizarre as it gets. But okay, so I will quickly get my API key and I will add it in the env folder. 1 second. Yeah, so I'm done with that. Let's fix this. Yeah. Cool. I think this looks fine now. Let's move back then. Yeah. So now our skill is running. I will just give it the permission. Uh, it is using GPT image 1. We wanted to use GPT image 2. I think that's edit that I would want to do going ahead. For now, this is fine. And let's generate the carousel. Okay. Why are we not using GPT image 2? Okay, got it. So it has figured out the issue itself, but this is also the issue with the skill itself. Like, whatever details are out there for it to interpret, it interprets it and like make mistakes. So if this was like a script, then it would definitely use the model that we have mentioned here, which is GPT image 2. But in this case, like it used GPT image 2 at start, but then probably it got some error which was not related to this model, and then it switched to another model, and now it is back to the right model. So I think that is a fix that I would want to add within the system, that the scripts are fixed and it is only using GPT image 2 going ahead. But let's wait. Meanwhile, it is rendering each of these slides individually. So after that, it would come up with the carousel and everything. So let's wait while it does that. Oh wow, this is pretty cool. Like I think going ahead, I will start using this extension data blur. Uh, but I'm curious, like how does it understands that which is the API key and which is something else? Like I think because like all of the things are on the screen are numbers. Uh, so let's wait while it does that. Also, I think I might have exposed my API key after all. I will quickly just delete the last one and then generate a new one. Wait, can I add limits over here? No, I cannot. So let's delete it and create a new one. Cool. This time when I paste it, probably I will use the extension. This time let me just put myself on the screen again and then add the key. Okay, so I'm just changing the API key again. So Let's wait while that happens. And yeah, like finally I've fixed the key again. And okay, so it's sort of like a normal snippet tool, like by which you change it. Makes sense. Like think this time I've made sure that my API key is not visible, at least like all of it. But yeah, cool. So we are rendering the images again, and let's wait while it comes up with the uh, variation. I think going ahead, it would make sense to just keep a .env file uh, or probably a separate OpenAI account going ahead. I think most people would do something like it, but yeah, for this one, please be good. Please don't steal my API key. And let's see the final slides that it comes up with. Also, if I just check the process, like the entire process, like where we are. So we are done with step 0, we are done with step 1 where it ingested the entire video, we are done with generating the entire content. We are right now at rendering slide, then it would be generating a PDF, and then there would be like a preview and approval gate. So it's still rendering all the slides. Let's wait for that to happen, and then I think the rest of the process should be fast. I'm still thinking that with buffer, like I'm not sure if it uploads PDFs directly, but I think if it does not take PDF as an input, then we would have to probably host it on some public URL first and then provide it there. So yeah, buffer needs a public URL, script uses, okay, something like that. Understood. So now it is rendering each of these slides. We cannot see the output here, but it is using like references, different style guide. So let's wait while that happens. Let's check out this tool meanwhile. You can select out the sensitive variant using your cursor only. So let's see if we have data blur here. Let's see widgets, data blur extension. Understood. So I think this comes up with a local app that I can use going ahead. Okay, so you can add these. Oh wow, this is a nice suggestion. Thanks a lot. I should start using this going ahead. But I think this is for browsers. Let's see if I can also download this locally. Data blur local. For Mac. Okay, so there is another one called blur data, which is paid. Makes sense. So for now, let's use the other one. Let's see if we have any free solution for this. And our skill is still working. Like I think it took way more longer, but but I'm but I think like it is creating all of these images one by one, which is slower. I think going ahead, I would want it to like parallelly create all the 8 images and then merge them together. But yeah, let's check. Let's check in the last step if a script is creating all these images parallelly or one by one. So in step 3, do we create the images parallelly or one by one? Oh, okay. So they can also parallelize it, but right now this was one by one. So that makes sense. Like right now, that's why it is taking a couple of minutes for creating all of these images. So let's wait. And yeah, this is done with creating all the slides. So let's check the results. So this is the first slide. I think it messed up with the dimensions of it. Like it is not one by one. It is not 5:4, which I think is the usual dimension on LinkedIn. Plus, like it also made mistakes with writing maker school here and some random text on top, which is fixable. Okay, fix the top bar branding on slides. Yeah, so we would want to do that, but for now, like I will proceed with the workflow. Proceed with the workflow. I don't want it to again take like a lot of time, but that seems to be like the issue here. Like all of these slides like have different branding, but this is cool. Like since we have Claude code as in like acting like a layer in between, so it can understand these fixes and like we can reprocess these slides. So that makes the entire process faster. Now it is building the PDF. It was able to build the entire PDF, and now it is probing buffer. So like basically creating a post out there, and it will take a final approval before scheduling the sun buffer. So now this is scheduling the sun buffer, and buffer needs the PDF as a public URL. 2 options to post directly on LinkedIn via buffer UI. So I think going ahead, I would also add a S3 bucket here so that it has like a public URL. But right now we have the PDF, so I can just download the PDF and I can upload it directly within buffer, and I can just paste my caption over there. So this is not the entire workflow. I think finally I would also want to add like a S3 bucket so that it puts the post over there and then post it using buffer. But for this video, I will end this here. I think this is a good enough workflow, and I will start posting much more often on LinkedIn, because now I don't have to start from scratch, and this will create carousels for me. So that's all about this one. I will sort of perfect this entire thing and post this as a video really soon. But this was a nice starter. Like, now I know, now I have the starting point of creating this entire automation. I will probably also bundle this as a skill itself and put it out there, so anyone who wants to use the same workflow can use it. But that's all about this one. And yeah, I will see you next time. Like, if you created something cool, do drop a comment, do show me. Like, I would be more than happy to have a look at it and, even try it out. So that would be pretty cool. Right now it's just the chat that we have for community, but like, I think going ahead, if there are more things that all of you are creating, and like, if we can collaborate on some of those, I would also love to like create a community. Do let me know about it. But yeah, that's all. I will see you next